Hi, it's Dave Turner again here from Tabletop Journal, and today I'm here with Maham Anjum, the very talented creative and designer potter over in London, and we're really thrilled to have her. She's a very busy lady these days, so we've got her just for a few minutes. So, Maham, great to be with you today.
Hi, Dave. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well. Listen, we'll get right to it. Tell us about how you got into this business. What's your background? Are you formally trained? How did you get into this crazy business called ceramics?
Well, Dave, I always wanted to make things. I always wanted to make things that were useful. My first degree was in fine art and psychology, and I realized I'm not such a good painter, and I wanted to do things, make things that people can use. And I was always very inspired by roadside projects in Pakistan, where I grew up, and the travels that took me to different parts of the world. Something about functionality, something about the tactility of ceramics, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I studied ceramics at Central St Martin's in London, and then I went on to do a postgraduate, and then I did research at the Royal College of Art in ceramics. I worked with Queensbury Homes, worked with design for quite a few retail companies, and here I am now in my own little studio.
It's beautiful. We love the colors and the textures of all the things that you're making, particularly things like the node that you did with Narumi, and some of these other, with color making such a great comeback onto restaurant tabletops. What role do you see that dinnerware and tabletop has in the guest dining experience?
As you know, a lot of the products that I do are made in my workshop in London, and I think it's to do with the close connection that you have with the chef. I work very closely with the chefs, and if you look historically, the chef and the potter have been connected. Let's say in Japan or South Asia, the chef would go to a potter. This is the dish I'm making. Do you have something with that? What do you have? Should we over? And now we're going back to that, the roots really, in a 21st century style. Where chefs that I work with are very particular about how the food will be presented, what's the kind of surface it's going to be, and how we can collaborate. There's a little bit of my sensibility, a lot of their passion and their sensibilities. It's all combining, and it's very, very interesting because I find myself a lot of times designing plates for specific dishes. Could be a plate or a bowl or a mixture of materials, and I think that sort of hopefully shows when you are offered a piece of food on a plate that's handmade, that has the passion of a few people going into it.
Sure. Do you consider yourself a potter or a designer, or both?
Well, I think I'm both. I'm a designer who puts in clay. Actually, I'm just a simple potter who's crazy about clay. But of course, the knowledge of ceramics and working in ceramics, working in design factories over the last few years helped me immensely to understand the limitations of the material and where I can push boundaries of ceramics, be it in my own studio or whether I'm working in a factory.
But you'll excuse me if I take your analogy or just use your comment about you being a simple potter. That would be like a Michelin chef calling themselves a cook. So we think of it a little more than just a potter. But tell us, speaking of Michelin chefs, I know you're working with a variety of chefs and on all kinds of different projects. Tell us a few of them if you can.
Well, one of the projects that I finished that I worked on for about 2 years was with the Civic Club, which was about 12 SKUs in the project. We designed plates. A lot of the plates that we worked on were things that the chefs couldn't find very easily in the market. So that was interesting. A lot of plates worth of dishes that the chef was creating, did he sing. I'm working on a very unique project with a chef called Vineet, who's been a very well-known chef in Europe and the Middle East. And that is really pushing boundaries of the dining experience. It's a bit like breaking the rules in a way of ceramics, slightly.
Sure.
So that's very exciting. I'm working on a very exciting project with which is in China. It's one of those fantastic factories I've worked with. And I've designed a range for Node, which you saw in Frankfurt. From Narumi, in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of other projects. There's another project coming up very soon, a new restaurant opening in London called the Tamarind Kitchen. which is going to be it's a very unique project, but it's not just ceramics, there's a range of other things on the table.
Well, you are one busy lady, so we really appreciate your time this morning. I hope you'll let us come back and check in with you regularly.
Of course, Dave, anytime.
Maham Anjum, everybody, she's fabulous. We love her products. If you haven't been to her website, get there. Tell us your website again.
It's www.mahamanjum.co.uk. I'll send you the link.
Perfect. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon.